20 points in my head thinking.
Do you like bringing attention to your business or event? Do you like standing out from the crowd? Well, give Sharp Profits.
You've got the ukulele riff in the background.
It's the anthem.
Should have been a banjo.
Okay, so we're coming on. We're taking this to about 5:36, so I'll give you guys.
Okay.
If I hold up like 5 fingers, this means about 5 minutes. So I'll keep you guys in the loop with our time.
Richard to call at 443-789-8170 or visit sharpprofits.com today.
RunningMaryland.com.
Dave coming back in or no?
Yeah, that was it. He's doing a phone interview about his book. It's 5:30, so he's back on the phone again. 8 minutes.
Pushing that book.
Yeah. No, he's excited about it. But I submitted a press release to the Baltimore Sun, and I mentioned you guys coming on the show, our show obviously, and his name and his book. He was all excited about that because he obviously wants to get as much press about. It was just published in December, so he wants to get as much press as he can.
I'm surprised no one talked about the fact that
Bring America's favorite coffee home with Dunkin' K-Cup packs. Available in 5 delicious varieties like French vanilla and dark roast, only at Dunkin' Donuts restaurants. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
Listen 24/7 to the nation's #1 sports network. ESPN Radio. ESPN Radio. And ESPN Radio 1300. ESPN Radio 1300.
And now back to the Runaround.
Welcome back to the Runaround. In the studio with us, like I said before, our head coach Andrew Valman of the Maryland track and field team, and team captain and senior Zach Ray. We have some elite company here today, Brad, an Olympic gold medalist and one of the ACC's best athletes.
I'm tingling right now at the bell. Coach Valman, you've been in track and field for such a long time and involved in as athletics and as a coach. When did you have an inkling that this might be coming down?
You know, when we first talked about the possibility of a commission's report, we looked at all the markers that they talked about, legacy, the cost factor, you know, how the sport's been doing in terms of us putting together NCAA. When I first, took over 8 years ago, the goal was if we didn't have the squad size, we were going to get to the NCAA and score Directors' Cup points. And so when we put 50 points on the board in the Learfield Cup points, we felt like, we were doing our side. So we didn't think as much about it, but we were prepared. Once it came out, it was devastating to our kids because I think as a whole, if we were doing poorly and we cost a lot, we would have probably thought, okay, yeah, it was coming.
And Zach, obviously he's privy to some information that you may not be privy to. When this was news to you, what was the initial reaction?
I think Coach V set the tone pretty. He set the tone. He called me right before and he said, I want you to ask questions. Because the athletic director was coming to the track and he was going to tell us that we were potentially going to be on the chopping block. And he wanted me to ask questions to talk about scholarship security and transferring, everything like that. And that just really set the tone for everyone on the team to just try to approach it, being professional, trying to leave your emotions behind a little bit, doing exactly what Dave Grady said, and just trying to make a positive spin out of it. But the first few days, the first couple of days after practice, practice was a little bit like a funeral, and it was tough.
I have noticed that you guys have started up a great Facebook page. Becky Yep has done an incredible job of keeping this up front in the news, and everybody has handled it very professionally. You would think there would be a lot of moaning and whining, but there hasn't been. You guys have just said, all right, this is going to happen. We need to deal with this. What was the hardest part for you? Was just try to keep training or try to figure out what you were going to do with keeping the program going?
I think the hardest part was trying to juggle school and training. It seemed like from the moment we left the track, Becky Epp, Anna Roth, and a lot of the women's cross country program. By the time we had checked our Facebooks and our computers, by the time we got home, there was already a Facebook group set up with hundreds of supporters. And later that night, I called a team meeting. And from the jump, it was we're going to attack this as businessmen. An emotional appeal as athletes isn't going to be effective. This was a financial decision, so we wanted to hit them with numbers. And I think my team is fortunate because we have so many different disciplines. We had Josh Finkel, a business and accounting major. We had our journalism majors, talk to their contacts, and Baltimore Sun, Washington Post, Running Maryland, everything.
It makes a nice senior project for you.
Right. Yeah. And Coach, let me field you a question. You're seeing a men's team's crisis, but you're seeing the women be just as involved in this whole situation. What does that mean to you as a coach to see that everyone on this team is involved?
Well, I think there's one part of the commission report that didn't take into consideration. We are a combined program. If you think about soccer, they're separated, but they're men's soccer, women's soccer. Our men and women are together. They're united. We win together and we lose together. So although the men are losing this battle, the women are losing as well. And one of the things that for us to win the battle, we have to do it jointly. And so our women have taken the lead in so many different areas. And so I've kept them being passionate. I keep everybody involved. Obviously, the men are privy to a little bit more information, but once I talk to the men first, I definitely reach out to some of our women leaders and make sure that they're aware of where we're going, fundraising-wise, and what the next couple steps are, so they can feel passionate about, Maryland track and field as a combined program.
You travel together as a team to meets. Or for cross-country, indoor and outdoor track, it's not as if it's basketball where women go to one game and men go to another. This has to be kind of hard on the women, knowing that they're going to possibly be left behind, be the only team out there.
Yes, it seems like a divorced family. When you think about it in terms of what happens with grieving and counseling and what the next steps are. So what we've done is we've tried to increase our base, increase our numbers, get the word out, and more importantly, make sure our students continue to do well in school. And then we told them, set the tone from first day at the track meet. And so that's what you saw at Penn State. I mean, Zach's been out for a few years, and obviously I said to him before he started, you got something to prove, and go out there and show. And this is what I told the men. Show what you really are made of, and our women will follow you as well.
And, Zach, I want to ask you as an athlete, do you find that this has really motivated you, seeing that the future of the team is compromised? You're doing your best to make sure that the future can be secured. But are you guys attacking as a team? Are you going to be expecting some big performances, not only from yourself, but from your teammates as well as they go into this troubling time?
Absolutely. We've worked so hard, and it's just continued from November 14th when we found out, and the level of intensity hasn't diminished at all. And we're trying to bring that to the meets, and we're trying to just maintain that level, stay healthy, and just continue towards the ACC championship.
It's 410-481-1300 if you'd like to call in and ask a question of Coach Vallon or Mr. Ray out here, or even Greg wants to answer a question.
And speaking of moving forward, talking about competing, you guys have a big meet coming up. Tell us about that.
Well, we have our indoor home meet coming up at the PG Sports and Learning Complex in Landover, and it's always a favorite for our home athletes like myself, because home coaches and family members get to come out and see what we've been working for these last few years, and we're all excited.
It's a big thing for us. I mean, if you think about the sports on campus, so many of them have a home venue that they can showcase, and so this is our opportunity for their peers to see them compete and be the best they can be.
And for all the high school athletes out there, for all the parents that have been to the PG Center, why not make another trip? Come out, support these guys. It's a fun meet, and especially for the high school athletes, you want to see some fast times, come out and see what it's like to be a college athlete, what you can expect to run or see, if you move up to the collegiate ranks. It's a fun meet. You'll be seeing a lot of people you used to race against in high school. Come out, support the Maryland Thirst.
College meets are much different than high school meets, or high school meets, you're there all day long and meets and races going on one after another. College meets, there's a little bit of time between races for you to sit back and think about just what happened, and to talk to the person next to you about the race that's going on, and check hey, that guy used to run for this high school in Maryland. It's a great time and different than a high school meet.
And if that doesn't drag you out, then how about this? Yours truly, your beloved host of the Runaround, Greg Jubb, will be running the 800. So if you don't want to, if for no other reason, come out for that.
And your other host will be sitting in a chair up top filming Greg Jubb while running an 800.
As if nothing has changed. Anyway, moving on, fundraising. We're at the fundraising stage of this game. For the listeners out there, what can they do to help out?
Well, it's 3 phases we have in fundraising. The first one is the big phase where we have a committee, Robert Duru, Natty Zola, 2 of our young alum, Milt Matthews, and Al Carey, Ronaldo Nehemiah. That's the group of men that we put together. Half is going to take the bigger donors, and the other half is going to galvanize the base to try to increase as much donation possible. And so right now what we've done is we have a website. It's updated every Monday. And so if you want to give, just go on umturfs.com and look at the track site, and all the information is up there. And if you have any questions you want to contact anyone on staff, we can definitely get you that information as well.
Okay, and as always, check runningmaryland.com. We currently have the link to that page on our ticker. So go to runningmaryland.com, you can check that out. We'll be sure to post all the pertinent information after we get off the show today. Zach, let me ask you a question. You've been involved pretty intimately with this whole process with the Facebook page and dealing with the alumni. What's it like to actually connect with these guys, names you see in the Maryland history record books, now that you're working with them to try to team up and really fight this? What's that mean to you?
It's a little overwhelming, but it's a constant reminder of just what legacy that you're fighting for, because we have alumni that are so passionate about this, like yourself, like Brad, like Dave Ungrady, that called in. It motivates us sometimes when we don't have the motivation to go to practice, and when we don't really feel like sending another email to some random person that we've never met before. But it's eye-opening.
It keeps it all in the forefront. It lets people know what's going on, and that's what we're trying to do, because so many times you hear of an issue and you hear of it, once it's off the front page you forget about it. And what we've been trying to do is keep it up there so everybody continually knows what's going on and that we can still help. It's not a dead issue yet.
And it's moving forward. I mean, Coach Vig, do we have a situation here that if we really get some momentum, I know you mentioned something in a letter that you sent out to alumni and to the track family as well, that we're trying to tip the scales here, starting with around the indoor meet coming up. Do you think this is something that, if you get some momentum, it can really carry some water?
100%. And the reason why I feel strongly about that is because if you look at our alumni base, they're passionate. And so if you mix a little bit of anger, you mix a little bit of passion, you mix just some businessmen, you mix all kinds of people together. I mean, track is, to me, one of the greatest sport in the world, and I think that's why it's great to have this show that's dedicated to the sport of track and field. You'll see some incredible things happen, and 4.2 can be done.
Mm-hmm. And I asked Zach about dealing with the alumni. You're dealing with athletes you used to coach, some athletes that you're very familiar with. What's it like to actually bring these guys back in, to know that it's all still in the family, that it's all very much the turf, track, and field family?
That's the concept we've taken. Open door policy, we basically put everything out there. If you read the website, everything, any questions, we field all questions, we're open. We've kept our kids involved. We have a leadership group that we give them the information, so we arm them with the right stuff. So if they get asked questions, it's not like go ask the coach. Zach and the company will know as well.
The website is, for the Facebook page, is Save UMD Men's XC/track and field if you want to check it out. It's a lot of positive things on there about the program and people supporting each other. It's a nice thing to see out there.
I'm sure we'll be talking about the meet on that Facebook page as well, also on runningmaryland.com. Who are we looking to see at this University of Maryland indoor track meet?
And what teams are planning to come out there?
I think Temple will be here. Of course, Morgan State, Hampton, so there's some speed. American's going to come, so there'll be some pretty good distance in the area, and I think Loyola's going to come. So we'll have a good mix of balance from cross-country, distance, to throws, and some sprints and jumps.
And from the Maryland track and field team, who can we expect to see throwing up some big performances this upcoming weekend?
I'm going to toss that one to Zach.
I hope to be seen in both the hurdles and the long jump. I always love running at PG. It feels home. But on the sprint side, on our ladies side, we have Deanna Brown and maybe Deamber Lewis debuting. Maryland also has 4 or 5 high jumpers, lady high jumpers that are doing well. Amina Smith, who is a former Patuxent graduate from the area. Let's see who else. Floyd Hawks from Western Tech will be featured in the sprints, as long as the twins, Dareem and Sean David from Philly. They'll be seen in maybe the 60 and the 400. So.
I think actually Greg's fishing to find out who's going to be in the 800. So
you know me too well. You know me too well.
Well, we did have Sumanth Kapali, former Perry
Hall. I coached him.
Perry Hall, I believe.
So good.
He had a pretty nice 154 this weekend.
He's coming
might
back.
have a little competition there.
Coming back off some injuries, and I think he's got some leg speed. He's got that good. He's a hybrid kind of runner. He's got good leg speed, good endurance. So hopefully, as the season progresses for him, we'll be seeing
keep
bigger,
him motivated. Just keep on his case a little bit, and he'll do okay.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap that up for now. We're gonna come back and talk some more Maryland track and field. Hopefully take some calls as well.
410-481-1300.
And also we're going to talk a little bit about some upcoming races that we're running, or we're managing, at Running Maryland.
That's right.
So stay tuned. It took us about the 5:36.